Okay, on the injury front, Donovan has a groin injury. We'll get an MRI on that. He did that in pregame warmups. Denzel has a hamstring injury. We'll also get an MRI on that tomorrow morning. That's a great team win. I'm really proud of the guys for fighting like crazy to get to this game. Guys that were pushing through those injuries. It was just incredible to see what these Thursday night games, what they put their body through, and I'm really proud of them. And then just the game itself. Playing complementary football and whatever it took in any of that game and whatever it took offensively, defensively, special teams, I thought the guys really played complementary ball and got a team win. And I could single out a bunch of guys, but Dearness Johnson to me is just a warrior, great teammate. What he's fought through in his career, and then to go have a night like that and to end it how he did on that third down, I thought was just outstanding. With that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, how did Case play tonight, and what did he give you at that position, and then the fourth down conversion, which was a huge play for him to get that for you guys?
Yeah, Case fought like he always does. I thought he orchestrated the operation. He took care of the football, and then that was a huge play at the end there, or not at the end, but in the end zone there on fourth down, and, just to make a play. Fighting for extra yardage, but he did a great job fighting.
Kevin, what's the biggest difference calling plays from Baker to Case?
I'd say no difference. We didn't materially change who we are.
Did Case get first team reps Tuesday, or at that point, were you still giving them to Baker? What was the
He
prep
did
like?
not. Yeah, he got walkthrough reps, but didn't get the full speed reps. But you're a backup in this league; you don't get reps.
Why did you take the ball first?
We just felt like the wind may be a significant factor in the second half, so felt like we wanted to have it in that direction in the fourth quarter. Did that for you, Tony.
Kevin, going back to Ernest, especially that last run, David gets the penalty to take that off the board, and he still comes back and picks that up. Just talk about that effort.
Yeah, I mean, disappointed in the penalties overall. I would tell you that that's what you get on a short week with no practice. I hate it. I'm not pleased with it, but I certainly not surprised that we had some errors like that. And then we just wanted to make sure we ran that clock and get it down to 20 seconds or whatever it would be. So I think that was very similar to the Colts game last year with Dearness. We called a very, very similar run, and it was a very similar result.
The fourth down conversion, is that guts or is that just confidence?
To go for it? I just think in these scenarios, you believe in your guys, and we think it makes sense to do it. But like I've said to you before, we won't do that just for the sake of doing it. We're doing it because we think we have a chance to get a first down in that situation, get a chance to get 7 points in that situation, and as you saw, that was important.
How about the way your defense played, Kevin, especially in that first half?
Yeah, I thought they were lights out in that first half. We were getting them into third and longer situations. We were playing tight in coverage, and/or we were in our zones and sound in what we were doing, and then we were rallying and making tackles short of the stick. So I thought the guys were really executing the defense.
I know Dearness got most of the work on the ground, but over 180 yards rushing total without your top two running backs. How much of that is scheme, and how much of that is just depth you have on your chart?
Yeah, I think we expected. We have high expectations for our team in general, but specifically to the run game. When we had Jed back in there and Blake is playing well for us, and we still had our tight ends and still had the receivers, fighting on the outside, and I thought Dearness had a really nice day and got Felton some carries in there as well. But the guys did a great job.
How did you feel? You just mentioned Blake. How do you feel he played against, especially against Von Miller?
Yeah, I mean, Von Miller is a Hall of Famer. So he got our attention. Obviously, didn't play there in the second half, but I thought he fared well.
What did it mean to have Jarvis back?
Meant a lot to this team. Having him come out of that tunnel last, I think it meant a lot to our fans. He brings the juice, no pun intended. He brings it to our sideline. Having him out there, a guy that fights. I could be talking about a bunch of different guys, but he's one. I mean, he fought like crazy to be out there with his teammates. Odell fought like crazy to be out there with his teammates. And to see those guys do that throughout the week and then get out there and not feel perfect, but to do whatever it took, I thought was just so impressive.
Hey, Kevin, can you give him there's a report that Baker has a fracture in the shoulder. Can you comment on that?
I'm not going to get into specifics of Baker's injury at this time. He's another guy that, is also fighting, and he'll be back out there as soon as he can.
You think there's a chance he plays in your next game?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a chance for all of it, but I don't. We're too far away from to say, to give you a good number.
The fracture that he disclosed, that doesn't change the equation for you guys in terms of whether he might.
No.
Kevin, with the short week, all the injuries, do you almost come into this game knowing it's going to be kind of ugly and kind of a grind?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It didn't have to be ugly, but we knew with the limited practice reps, with the guys that were banged up, and then Donovan goes down in warm-ups, we knew that it might be a challenge getting the guys in the huddle and guys knowing their role. I mean, that's credit to Chad O'Shea to have the pulse of that room and understand how to move those guys around by formation, because we walked through a lot of plays in one formation. We had to call it in a different formation. So those are the type of things on a Thursday night game that typically happen. But by and large, I thought the guys executed pretty well.
McLaughlin banging home that 52-yarder into the dog pound. When he kicked it, it looked like the flags on top of the posts were blowing toward him. Just to talk about your decision to have him try that kick and then also, him making it.
Yeah, felt confident in Chase, and that's from him demonstrating that he can kick into the dog pound. He can make those. He's done it in games. He does it in practice. So it's certainly a weapon for us in those areas where we don't want to punt, we can't go for it. We do have faith in him to come through.
Kevin, you won the challenge on the Fant going out of bounds, and then on the Bridgewater sneak, it looked like you might have had your hand on the red flag again. You thought
Yeah, we thought about it, but they felt upstairs that he got it.
Looked like Odell fell on that shoulder again at the end of the first half, but it was able to play, obviously. Is this something you think he'll be able to continue to play through?
Yeah, I don't know long term. I can't give you a great answer there, Scott, but Odell wanted to play very, very badly, and he wanted to be out there with his teammates very badly. He doesn't feel 100%, and a lot of those guys don't. But to go do what he did, fight through it, make a play late in the game for us, again, really proud of those guys.
How did Landry came out for a little bit but came back? Is nothing?
I think he's okay.
Kevin, you've mentioned guys fighting, wanting to be out there with their teammates. Is that part of the culture that you're trying to instill here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to instill any culture. I would just tell you that our team, our players, understand that we need to give everything we got week to week in the NFL. And for them, again, on short weeks in some of the areas where we were banged up, I think the guys were not going to take no for an answer. And we're going to make sure they were out there to battle for 60 minutes.